Good Thursday morning or afternoon or whenever it is that you're watching this. Welcome back to our devotional video. Today we are in Romans chapter 13 and 14. And Paul has some controversial words. Controversial maybe in his time, but I'm going to guess controversial for our time today. And the heading for the beginning of chapter 13 is Submission to the Authorities. So, your government leaders, nothing controversial there, right? So, Paul says this. He says, "Let every person be subject to the governing authorities. For there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment." He goes on to say more, but this is pretty significant. And this is, where Luther talks a lot in the fourth commandment about, the fourth commandment, honor your father and mother. And as we see Jesus talk about, and even God in the Old Testament, but Jesus in the New Testament, kind of giving depth to the commandments. He says, you've heard it said, you shall not murder, but I say if you have evil thoughts against your brother, you've committed murder. Well, this is kind of the expanding of the fourth commandment, where it's not just about honoring your father and mother, but the fourth commandment is talking about the people who God has put in authority over us. And so this is really important for us, because how we respect our authorities is as if we were respecting God that way. Paul says that there's nobody who is in power except who God has put there. And some of you might be like, well, why would God put X, Y, or Z there? I don't know. I'm not God. You're not either, though. And that's the thing, is it comes down to a trust of, even if there are things that the people in authority do that are against God's will, which, spoiler alert, there are, because they're human. Even the best of them are human. Each of them has been put there by God. Even the worst of leaders, whoever has the opinion this person is the worst leader or this person is the worst leader, they're only there because God has put them in authority, and God's purposes and plans, which we cannot comprehend, far exceed what we understand. And God has purposes for them that are being carried out through them. And so even if they do things that we don't agree with or like, guess what? We're still called to respect them and submit to them. Now, the one exception, and Luther talks a lot about this, is if they go against the will of God. So if our president in the future says it is now illegal to own a Bible, and anybody who goes to church or who sings Christian music or who reads their Bible is going to jail. Well, when they go against God's word, they contradict God's word directly. Then that's when we submit to God rather than to the authorities. But short of that, we are called to submit to our authorities. It's not just a matter of respecting our authorities, but it is as though we are respecting God by how we respect our authorities. And so I know that this is something where politics have very tame opinions. I'm just kidding, very strong opinions. But God calls us, no matter what, to respect our authorities, to realize that they are there to care and to take care of the people under them. And even more importantly than that, they've been put in this position by God. And so how we respect them reflects how we respect God and His authority over us. And so it's just a humble reminder and a good reminder of, no matter who is in what office, we are to respect them as though we are respecting God. So a challenging word, I'm sure, but a word from Paul that very much applies to us today. And so chew on that, wrestle with that a little bit. But I hope that you are challenged to maybe, if you haven't been before, respect the authorities a little bit more. Maybe even change your thinking about how you view authorities as seeing them from God. May God bless the rest of your week.